I look at 2019 as really kind of a crossroads type of season for the Carolina Panthers organization. You've made the switch on defense to the 3-4 defensive alignment as being your base defense after so many years under head coach Riverboat Ron of playing the 4-3. And you look at Cam Newton coming back off of his shoulder surgery. What's he going to look like? How's he going to be? How's he going to measure up to the Cam Newton of old? Now, you're talking about Cam Newton now going into his 9th year in the league. What happens if he doesn't show well in 2019? What happens if he takes a step or two back? Like, this is really a critically important season for the Carolina Panthers, and it would be an interesting team to watch as the season goes along, because if this season does not go well, it could lead to some really big changes for this team in this upcoming offseason and down the road. Now, with the retirement of Julius Peppers, Thomas Davis, and Devin Funchess being gone, some of the more notable names you've associated with the Panthers organization have departed. They added Gerald McCoy and Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin potentially making sense as you go to that 3-4 alignment, thinking about him as a pure kind of outside edge backer. And then in the draft, going with Brian Burns out of Florida State in the first round, again, feels like a natural fit as a 3-4 edge rusher. Drafting Greg Little to bring some more talent in on that offensive line that they absolutely needed. It was interesting when they took Will Greer, too, because to me, that was kind of a pick as much as anything else that's saying, hey, we're not 100% sold on Cam Newton's shoulder. Hey, we're not 100% believing that Cam Newton's going to come back and be the Cam Newton of a few years ago. Unfortunately, if you watch Carolina in the preseason, Will Greer shits, but we'll see how it goes. But I think this is a critically important year for this organization, because when you look at them, you've got Christian McCaffrey, you've got DJ Moore, your last 2 first-round picks. They've been pretty good, especially McCaffrey, obviously, has been a stud. And I think DJ Moore showed enough flashes last year to believe that he'll be even better in 2019. So I like that kind of combination there. You look at the linebacking core, you still have Luke Kuechly, so you'd figure you have to be always pleased with that. You've got Bruce Irvin on one side when he's going to be healthy. You've got Mario Addison on the other side as an edge rusher. Then you bring Brian Burns into the rotation. You got Shaq Thompson playing on the inside. So you have a linebacking crew that I have confidence will be able to blend in relatively well into that 3-4 alignment, into that 3-4 scheme. But a lot of question marks to me with this team. Cam Newton surgically repaired shoulder, as I've alluded to. How's that going to look? Greg Olson's health. This offense is vastly different when Greg Olson is out. And you've got him healthy to start the season. How long is that going to stay true? And if he goes out again for any length of time, what's going to happen to this offense? And then who's going to be the number 2 wide receiver? Even if you say, well, Christian McCaffrey is going to catch 80 or 90 balls out of the backfield, that's very possible. And you got DJ Moore on the outside as your number 1. Who's going to be that other guy? You need more than that. And then can they generate enough pass rush with that new 3-4 defensive alignment? Like I said, I have some confidence in the linebackers, but this is a big change in base system and base scheme and base philosophy. And I'm not sure that they have all of the personnel to truly be able to run it. In terms of the schedule, I think the early part of the schedule is going to tell a lot about them. I really do. Starting off with the Rams and then Tampa at home the first 2 weeks, then going to Arizona and to Houston the next 2 weeks after that, and then Jacksonville at home week 5, Tampa Bay week 6. And you got to look at this and you say, okay, if Cam Newton can show that he's somewhat healthy, even if he's modified and different in terms of his throwing motion, you start off 4-2, then you feel like you're in the playoff mix. You don't, then it could mean some signs of trouble. They play the New Orleans Saints twice. They got to figure out a way to beat them at least once. It would be nice if they'd be able to beat Atlanta. I just look at this team, though, and I feel like there's not a lot for me to really believe in. Like, there's just a lot of uncertainty and a lot of change. And change can be strange. And sometimes change can be good. And sometimes change can just be change for the sake of change. And that doesn't automatically mean it's any good. But I look at them, and offensively, like, if you get any serious injuries to Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and or Greg Olson, not to mention potentially Cam Newton, like, this team is cooked. And Greg Olson had trouble staying healthy in recent years. Cam Newton, how is he going to hold up? Because while he played last year, you could tell he was a diminished Cam Newton. Those are guys that they just can't afford to lose. And I have to feel like at some point in time, they're going to lose 1 or 2 of them for some length of time. And if they do, they're going to be in real trouble. As a result, I'm not that high on the Carolina Panthers this year. I think they're maybe a 6-win football team, and they're going to bring up the rear in the NFC South, and it's going to lead to all types of interesting conversations in this next offseason for this organization.